The main thing that we are worried about is everything that's recyclable. So this is recyclable either on Gili Trawangan or we can send it to different places around Indonesia. So we want to separate all of that into one bag. So what we can do is you can either split up into buddies or you can have 2 bags each. So you've got 1 bag for residue and 1 bag for recycle. And then just make sure we're keeping everything separate as we're going. But generally the things that we can recycle is all plastic bottles and shampoo cartons and things like this. Any of these little drinks, glasses, plastic glasses that you find on the beach, you can recycle those now, so they can all go into the same recycling bag. Same with, this is metal, even though it looks like a stick, so any scrap metal and stuff that we find, we can deal with that. Tetra Pak is a new one that we can recycle, and all of these different hard, like brittle plastics. If you find bits of broken buckets and things like that, that's all going to go into recycling over there. Same with aerosols, and the final one, which is these clear plastic bags. So if you find any plastic like this, you can see through it and it's got something printed on. These two we can recycle, whereas what's in this one, all these coloured plastics like this, we cannot recycle those. So that's the thing that we need to really keep separate. When you find any types of wrappers that have got this silver foil on, it's like a little bit of aluminium and a little bit of plastic, and it's very difficult to separate the two materials to recycle them. So they are currently unrecyclable as well. The main thing we'll find is styrofoam, so either in these big cool boxes like this or the potney things like that. So any type of styrofoam, polystyrene, including flip-flops and things like that, we cannot recycle them. So try not to use them too much. Another thing is this, which looks like paper, but it's actually got a thin layer of plastic on it as well. If you're a diver, then you'll find it underwater. The paper comes off within 2 weeks, and then you're left with like a little layer of plastic suffocating the coral. And then finally, one thing which isn't on any of this is cigarette butts. We cannot recycle cigarette butts. They're highly toxic if they are left in the beach or anywhere on the island. So what we do is we collect them in water bottles like this, and then we can upcycle them into different products. So we make eco bricks with them, and eventually, hopefully, we'll find somebody who can recycle cigarette butts, and we'll get $500 million. One full 1.5 litre plastic bottle like this is approximately 1,000 cigarette butts. So this is how we can start to judge how many we find on each cleanup. Whether we find more here than we do over there, and we can start quantifying the cigarette butts that we find as well. So if you've already got one of these, then try to just put cigarette butts in these. And then everybody that you see in a green t-shirt are also eco warriors. So if you don't have a photographic memory, don't panic, because you can go up and ask one of these guys, and they'll tell you what goes into each of the bags like that as well. Does that sound okay? Yeah. The harbour is that way. There's going to be more rubbish down at the harbour just because it's high tide at the moment, and sadly a lot of the rubbish will have been washed away with the high tide. So because there's quite a lot of us, we can have half a team going this way for 45 minutes and half a team going that way for 45 minutes. If you don't find too much for the next 200 metres that way, then we'll just spend all of our time over here because there'll be more rubbish down. Does that sound okay? So if you haven't already got a bag, come and grab a bag from over here and you can split up into your teams.
Hai, selamat sore.
Hai.
Tadi ngumpul untuk apa tuh? Buat ngapain?
Orang turis dan orang lokal siapa peduli di pantai dan
di pantai,
laut mau lihat sampah di pantai.
Oke.
Jadi setiap Jumat 1 jam saja semua orang di Gili Trawangan, turis, guru menyelam, koleksi di sampah.
Kolek-kolek sampah di pantai.
Ya, dari pantai. Ya.
Ya.
Dan separate
dibagi-bagi
ke bank sampah.
Ya.
So semua
plastik
gelas dan Tetra Pak,
ya.
aluminium dan tas clear.
Betul.
Ya, dan banyak botol
ya.
dan residue is sampah recycle.
Recycle. Yang ini
And
paper
kertas
ya.
Semua recycling.
Recycling.
Ya.
Nanti ini dibuat kemana? Setelah dikumpulkan?
Di kaca.
Ya.
Ya. So kaca is crushing dan buat batako
ya.
dari kaca.
Oh, dari batako dari kaca.
Ya.
Oke. Sudah berapa lama?
5 tahun.
Sudah 5 tahun di sini.
Ya. Ya, guru menyelam untuk 4 tahun setengah.
Ya.
Dan ya, saya peduli di laut dan banyak ikan. And ya, proteksi di karang.
Ya.
By removing the sampah.
Ya. Dan sudah berapa lama untuk mengutip sampah ini?
Ya, di plastik it's
How long?
lama-lama.
Ya.
So, mungkin 100 tahun, 200
Tahun,
tahun
ya.
like di laut.
Ya.
Dan ya sekarang kita lihat lebih sampah
Ya.
daripada ikan.
Daripada ikan di sini.
Penyu,
Oke,
ya.
oke. Dan di laut di Gili Trawangan sudah banyak sampah
Ya, sedikit ya, more di pantai.
di pantai.
Ya, dari Lombok,
Lombok,
dan
ya.
di arus-arus is always collecting the rubbish.
Oke, kita bisa sambil kulik
Ya.
sampah.